covered. They ain't come from my club, they tugged it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hola. Yeah.
And we're live. Good Monday morning. How is everybody? I'm hoping that you're doing well and your Thanksgiving was fantastic. The question of the day is, how long do you give the turkey leftovers? I say if you don't eat them the next day, you got to chuck them, because to me, it gets a little funky after that second day. But if you're my mom, you'll eat them for like a week and a half. So anyway, nothing really going on too much. If you guys are trading futures, we'll talk about that in a second. We'll talk about where the market is and what we expect. Not that that matters. And then we'll talk about Vegas, which is the only thing that counts today. But right now, we're in some excessive chop. And if you've avoided it, fantastic. There's been a couple of decent trades. We've already made a day's pay. And we're just sitting around having conversations about other things, because that's what you do. When there's nothing to do, you don't do much. If you're over trading today, you're obviously looking at this market completely wrong, because there really isn't much going on. And you shouldn't be trading too much. All right, I'll be right back. Hey, and we're back. All right, we're back. And if this is your first day here, welcome. How you doing? If you guys are seeing me on the YouTube, now you can see me. I'll be wearing this outfit every day this week, all the way to Saturday. And that's right, I don't leave my house or shower or change my clothes. But if you see me, I'm wearing my full Georgia regalia. And I'm already betting against them. I would take Alabama if you're a betting person, because Alabama basically owns Georgia. And I expect the same. But what's fun is that this wasn't even the game that was supposed to happen. It all lined up, because I do think the SEC is kind of rigged. They love themselves some Georgia, Alabama. And somehow they got it to be the SEC championship game. I don't know how it worked out like that, but here we are again. And if you know anything about the SEC, and I think you do, the SEC championship game is more important than the national championship. That's right. So this is the Super Bowl, and I will be hunkered down in my house. Probably have to put my wife in a straitjacket, because she's actually a crazier fan than all of us. She gets very emotional. If you guys like college football, nothing like SEC, right? So if you are into trading, my name's Kenny Glick, and what we do here for a living is what I basically invented 30 years ago. A lot of the systems that we've been worked on, I had a hand in. Worked with a couple of companies that were innovating trading systems. They went on to sell their stuff. Doesn't exist anymore because they sold out. And all these years later, one thing I've learned is that nobody knows anything. So, speaking of nobody knowing anything, we're going to be going to Vegas. And there's something called the Money Show. It used to be called the Traders Expo. And I used to show up with my own little film crew and some of my own, let's call them spokesmodels. And we just parade into this place and kind of mock the people at their booths, especially the ones that said they had some sort of system that said they, the people that say they have the 80%, 90% win rates, we'd interview them and ask them what they had. And no one was ever actually able to prove anything to us. It was kind of the joke. But I didn't feel the need to pay them for a booth. So we would just create our own booth. And this is going back 20 years ago. We used to show up with our own crew. I had a camera guy, sound guy, 3 or 4 models, and we would just storm in there and took over the place. And they didn't appreciate that. And we were asked to leave and we wouldn't leave. And it got kind of heated at times, and rumors spread around what I was doing. There was one time there was a rumor went around that I interrupted somebody's conference, took my shirt off, threw it up at the guy, screamed, "Suck my NASDAQ," which was the name of my website at the time. If you guys don't know, here. My original name was "Suck My NASDAQ." Nothing about the NASDAQ. I just thought it was a funny phrase. And was giving out shirts and hats just for fun. The idea was I was launching my website at the time, so I figured, hey, free publicity. I also met a couple of weird characters there. I met Penny Gangster there, if you guys know that dude. But all these years later, I went back a couple of times, smoothed it over with the guys that run the show. And not only did we kiss and make up, but they stole my idea. They started bringing their own film crew and doing their own interview process, and all the stuff that I was doing for fun. They took my idea and ran with it, kind of like this entire industry. So chat rooms didn't exist in 1996, 97. No one knew what a chat room was unless you were a lonely housewife on AOL, which was one of my chat rooms. But there wasn't Lonely Housewives. That was just the name. We called it Lonely Housewives 2000. And we launched the room. And you had to get invited to come to the room. And then we would sit there, just talk, type what we were doing as far as the market's concerned. And voila, chat rooms were born. And then I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. So, after I had made some money, I lost some money, I was having a interesting career already. And then I just started teaching. It's one of the, when new traders would come to the firm, according to SEC regulations, we were supposed to train them. That was a loose word, training. But we did it the right way. I had most of the guys sitting at a desk. I would trade. They would sit behind me. And that became kind of annoying. That's where we started doing the chat room. We actually had Nextel phones with headsets for a while. I would, remember Nextel? And I would say, I'm buying Cisco here at 38/8, looking for it to, And then, oh, wait, I think I might have bought an 1843 dime. You guys into coins? If anybody's looking to buy me some Hanukkah presents, any coin from 1843, I'm your Huckleberry. I'm in. Also, if you don't know, I love me some silver. Just got another 50 ounces. These are 5-ounce Canadian maples. Never been made before. First time issued. 2026 Canadian 5-ounce maples. Pretty sweet. Been buying silver since I'm 18. Since 18. was roughly about $18. I was a baseball card guy. Used to go to these shows. I used to buy some gold and silver. Can't afford gold anymore, so I started buying silver. So let's go back to trading, right? So, I've been doing this my whole life. And every trader's been looking for an advantage or an edge, as they say. My edge right now is 100% VWAP, but it's beyond VWAP. It's the chart pattern meets the VWAP is what really makes it special, because this chart pattern that I have been talking about since the 90s is called the faux show bro, fake out, shake out, breakout. And if you guys see my charts, you see it up there. It happened 3 times today already. And as a shorter who once did really well as a shorter, my mom hung me on a hook once. You better know that movie. So this chart pattern has been around forever. Stocks break new lows. Then they come back above that new low they broke down. They start to rally, and then they break new highs. What my boy Robbie Krieger, not that Robbie Krieger, but another Robbie Krieger, not the Doors guy. We noticed that when the market would go down and then come back, break new highs, it would start a rally. So what we would do is we would wait for the stocks to break the 930 high candle. So you'd break new lows, usually break another new low, then come back, then break the 930 high. That's when we'd buy. Now, when you get a faux show underneath this wonderful blue line, otherwise known as the institutional money line or your deciding line, or as most people know, it's VWAP. And most of the time, the standard VWAP is your standard price throughout most platforms. The secret sauce we have is this orange line up here. But why this trade works so well, right? First of all, it's victimizing shorters. And we know we're in a market that really doesn't like to go down anymore. And it's not something too hard to understand. It does victimize shorters. And again, there's an opposite side to the trade. I'm going to show it to you in a second. But generally, what we look to do is we're looking for gaps. A gap down stock, that means it's starting lower from where it started the prior day, gapped down. And then it tries to get you to sell at a new low. So it's gap down, breaks new low, then comes back, then breaks VWAP. So going back to that original trade, we would usually wait till the 930 candle high break right there. And again, you could have made something, but here it rolled over, here it broke new highs. But generally it would be this trade right near the open. So 930 candle, stock go down, stock starts to go back up, 930 high buy, you buy it, and otherwise known as the dip and rip, or a check mark, or the faux show bro. We call it all that stuff. The reason this trade now is extra special is we don't wait for it to break the 930 high candle. We're buying at VWAP. So if you get a gap down and the VWAP is here and you faux show under the VWAP and then break the VWAP, don't wait for the 930 high candle. Now we're buying it here. So we're getting a head start on a trade that's been working for 30 years. And now we're trading it algorithmically, because VWAP, volume weighted average price, is the algorithmic language of love that over the last 10 to 15 years has been dramatically not shifted, but more quants, more algorithms, more programming of the market, because there's a lot less human beings doing this now. Most of the orders are pre-done, they're programmed, and they program it around the VWAP. So for my new friend out there, and I know you're out there, hey, how are you? Thanks for tuning in. Never heard VWAP. And as they said to me in the email, he's like, this is the most fascinating thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, I know, it is. And somebody like you, my friend, the more people I find that don't know about VWAP that then start to use it exclusively, it makes it work better. It's going to work anyway because the algorithms use it. But the more and more people that we show and understand it, and the more it works, the better it works. Because it can't be a crowded trade. Crowded trade is when everybody's thinking the same thing. A lot of times it doesn't work out the way that everybody thinks. It's a crowded trade. This trade, the more crowd, the better. Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. Black gold and a song is that. Nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd. I don't know, some one-hit wonder. Anyway, nothing attracts a crowd like a crowd, right? So this trade, it works better because more people are doing it, and we have algorithmic institutional participation in the trade. So instead of waiting for it to break those highs, we're buying VWAP break. So if you fake them out, shake them out, break a new low, then come back, then break VWAP, like here, breaks the new low, comes back, then breaks VWAP, buy it. And the reason this trade's phenomenal, it's not because it works so often, like in CoreWeave. Who's long the CoreWeave? That's the only other trade we took today. Q's CoreWeave. And maybe somebody trade OMA. I'll get to the other ones, but really hasn't much been going on today. And again, let me just give you the premise of why it works. Shorters, morons like me, get convinced that the market could actually go down. And when does the market go down? When it breaks new lows, right? That's generally means it's going lower. But in this market we're in, the market that never goes down anymore, it's always a trap. It traps the shorter. Whether it be just for today, this chart pattern shows up on any time frame. But as a day trader using VWAP, chart pattern recognition meets the VWAP, risk defined, reward awaits you. So let me show it better on the Qs. That's just the options. So let me just get rid of these red lines, and I'll show you why those red lines were there, because we draw the red lines. Actually, let me pivot for a second because I think some of us are long CoreWeave. Let me show you why we're long CoreWeave. See the red lines? Kind of where we were placing our stops and managing the trade. So why is CoreWeave? And by the way, CoreWeave always on the watch list. If you guys want to know about watch lists, my watch list is QQQ, UVXY, CoreWeave, ASTS, NVTS, and Open. I can make a living trading those 6 stocks and never even look at anything else. I do look at other things because I love earnings reports. But when there are no earnings reports, it's QQQ, UVXY, Open, NVTS, CoreWeave, and ASTS I traded quite often. Let's take that one off the list so I can just use one hand. QQQ, UVXY, I could trade those 2 stocks for a living and never look at anything else. Throw Open in there, which has been phenomenal to trade almost every day, short and long. Great stock to always be looking at. And this CoreWeave has been one of my favorite stocks this year. I was going to say I don't lose money when I trade this stock. Sure I do. But this stock tends to cooperate, and that's why. It's not about what CoreWeave does. I don't know. I don't know where the stock's going to be a year from now. Don't care. I don't know if the stock's going to be at 0, 3 months, 3 years from now, or 300. Irrelevant. I know the stock obeys VWAP, and when it faux shows and breaks VWAP, it tends to bro. That's why I like the stock. It's the action. It's not about what they do or how much money they make, or who the CEO is, or what the EBITDA is. Irrelevant. Plus, I have zero idea what it's going to do tonight or tomorrow. Nobody knows except the shadow. But what we do know, and if you do know something, that's where you focus your attention. So what do we know? What do we know? We know that the faux show bro rocks because it's been working for 35 years, faux show bro. And we know faux show bro under VWAP works because that's what triggers the buyers. Remember the faux show bro, why does it work so well? it traps morons like me who think stocks could actually go down. I've seen it happen, but again, we don't really go down too much anymore. And that's why the market's so confounding, because if you buy 5 random stocks not associated with the S&P 500 or the Qs, your 5 stocks will probably suck, and the market will go up, and you're like, hey, how come my stocks aren't going up? Because you stink, that's why. Because most stocks suck, and that's why I'm a bear. Irrelevant. So what we do, right? What we do is we just trade what we know. What do we know? We know the faux show bro works. We know the faux show bro under VWAP works. And we know multiple time frame VWAP works as well, otherwise known as anchored VWAP. But what I have brought to the table is I automatically anchor it with a script on Thinkorswim, and our pal Salagello, who also works for Hit the Bid, and himself, who was wonderfully reverse engineered what we were bestowed 13 years ago, and has taken it to a whole nother level. We'll get into that conversation some other time. But suffice it to say, chart pattern recognition. Hi, my name is Kenny Glick, also known as the universe's #1 pattern recognition trader. If you didn't know, now you know. And if you were looking for a scanner while we're talking about nicknames, if you guys don't know my secret identity, I will tell it to you now. Just don't tell too many people. I am also Scan Man. This year, Scan Man's going to get some teeth whitening and a possible Invisalign, so that's going to be fun. Because my parents didn't have enough money to get me braces when I was a kid. And the orthodontist was right. All right, so anyway, let's keep this conversation going. So the faux show bro, right? You understand the premise. That's why I love this freaking trade, because it makes sense. A lot of trading doesn't make any sense. A lot of trading is counterintuitive. A lot of trading is, again, go to any bookstore, there's thousands and thousands of books about trading. Most of it's bullshit, right? Nobody knows what's going to happen. There are certain things that replicate. I've got something that replicates. Somebody else has something else that replicates, and it does well for them. I've never seen anything work like this. And I've never seen anything this easy to understand, that's this repeatable. And that's why this is what we do for a living, and it works on all time frames. So the faux show bro, once again, stock starts to fall, rallies, rolls over, breaks that recent low, then comes back. That's the trap. It's the fake out, shake them out, VWAP break. So the reason this trade works so well, remember, the shorter gets excited. The long trader says, oh no, I better sell because it just broke the lows of the day. The shorter guy gets short, the long gets out. 3 minutes later, they both say, oh, fiddlesticks. You like that, Grandma? Keeping it PG-13. Fiddlesticks. Oh, I better get the hell out of my short position, says the scholarly, learned trader. The long says, oh no, I better not let this go up without me. Fear of missing out. Oh no. The algorithm, who doesn't give a doesn't care about what you think, is kicking in because VWAP breaks kick in the algo. And then price discovery, algorithmic trading kicks in and brings it to where? Brings it to what now? To the orange freaking line, to the penny, right there. So what you have in this chart, and if you are coming to Vegas with us, I would get this tattooed to your chest, which I might do next to my Star Trek insignia. What you do know, right? So this is one of those cases where you do know things. And that's why this trade is awesome, because nobody knows anything except this. So what do you know? Right? So what do you know? You know that, well, you know the trade works well. You know VWAP breaks work well. But before you go even further, what do you know? You know if you're wrong. Huh? Well, you got to factor that in, right? It's not going to work every time. So what you do know is if you're wrong and you're buying VWAP break, fake them out, shake them out, you know that the fake them out, shake them out areas are your exits or your stops. So you're clearly defining the trade, meaning I know why I'm buying it. I know what I'm going to do if I'm wrong. Remember, prepare for the worst, you pessimistic psychos, right? Whether that be pessimism or discipline, I look at it either way. I prepare to lose first, and then I enjoy. Prepare to lose, right? Because that takes the fear away. I'm buying a stock right here at $70.35, and my first stop is $69.60, and my last stop is $69.32. Done. Now, where's my reward? Well, if I'm buying a $70 stock, I'm expected to make at least $2, right? Stock's under, above 50, below 100. You should be looking to make $1.50, $2, $2.50. But then when you have the orange line on your screen, that's telling you where price discovery with momentum will get you. So you factor that in. So you're buying a stock at $70.35. You're expecting to make around $3, and you're risking $1. That's Canadian for dollar. That's how you make money. Because we have this trade that works really, really well. And guys, if you guys are still in the core weave, let's go, people. Hope you're in it. Come on. Come on. You got yourself a 1-minute multi-day VWAP reversal. The trade hasn't failed in 4 years. I'm just not talking about it. Don't just talk about it. Be about it. What up? Busta Rhymes? All right. I lost a couple of you guys on that one. Just don't talk about it. Be about it. So the trade's defining itself. It's saying, hey, you're risking $1. Are you prepared to risk $1 to try to make yourself 3 or more? Well, that sounds pretty good, Kenny. Great. Press the button. I ain't going to press it for you. So if you can clearly define every trade that you ever do for the rest of your days, you will be a much better trader. And that is what Faux Show Bro, pattern recognition, multi-day VWAP trading brings to the table on a daily basis. And your job, because it's a job, is to, when the one that doesn't work isn't working, sell it. That's the part, that's the hard part. Because the guy in the back just said, but you said it just works every time. I know. But there's going to be a time where it doesn't work. And you're going to have to get out. Well, you said it works every time. I know I said that. But there's going to be a time where it doesn't work. And you're going to have to sell. Because I can show you a trade that works 100% of the time, and you'll find a way to fuck it up. Sorry, Grandma. You'll find a way to screw it up. So with every trade you do, why am I getting in? Well, Faux Show Bro VWAP break. Foes and shows are your stops. Target is multiple time frame VWAP. And now what we have built also is when it gets through the orange line and then holds it from on top, look at that. So if the foe and the show form again and break back above prior day VWAP, that's a new entry for the person that missed it from down here. And now you've got a test from on top, and now you got a new follow-through move, and now you go grab 2 days worth of data. Oh, what did I just do? The algorithm that we built teaches us or tells us where the next logical, mathematical price discovery price is. So your first target is that 1 minute in the 1 day. And if you secure that and you sell, okay, now what am I going to do? All right, cool. You're going to place some stops at your last faux show, and you're going to hold the core weave till it gets to that price. And look, it got there. And then with some sellers. And then it broke. So now let's go look at 3 days. 3 days not helping us, but 3 days also unveils that moment, right, where the prior 3-day prior day VWAP acted as support. All right, let's take a look at 4 days. Again, the stock's been pretty much sideways, so I'm assuming a lot of that. A lot of 4, and then you got the 5. Not much going there to help you. So then what do you do now? You go right back down to old school trading. 72.50 gets you. 72.50 gets you what? 72.50 gets you what? 72.50 gets you what? 72.50 gets you, come on. 72.50 gets you what? 72.50 gets you 75. There it is. 72.50 gets you 75. So if you just said to yourself, why? Why? Because, and that's all the reason you knew, because 72.50 gets you 75. That's how the market works. So all we do for a living here is we trade what the market does at the best time around the prices where those things happen. Chart pattern recognition meets VWAP, meets price discovery, meets knowing what things do. And that's why I'm considered the grandfather of the industry. Or you could also just say I'm the greatest trader you've ever met in your life, because I've been doing this my whole life. I should be good. And no one's as good as articulating what goes on live than me and my gay partner, Solid Jello. And I say that with affection. We're gay for each other. What? You got a problem with that? So, anybody have any questions? Because we have 24 minutes to spend with each other. But see what we just did there? 6 months, 6 weeks from now, I'm going to be doing this on a Saturday. Join the website. You get the free class as long as you join for a year. And by the way, you better be joining for the year, my friends, because we're going to be taking away some of these lovely things that we do. And it's going to be reserved for yearly subscriptions, membership. Yeah, all that stuff. So next year, things are changing. Get involved now. Prices are going up. And that lovely session we do on Thursday nights is going to be VIP. And if you are with us and you are VIP, then whatever we build live, you'll be a part of that. That's my story. Sticking to it. Not much going on except the core weave. And if you guys are along the queues, it's basically the same exact trade as core weave. They're chopping her up. They're trying to get you out. You see how it tests the VWAP from on top. So just like the core weave, right? You see this chart pattern? It looks exactly like the core weave, right? Because it is. Because the market's rigged. Most stocks just travel with each other. There's no individual achievement awards. The whole market is rigged. Most ships rise on the tide and fall with the tide. To outsmart the market, it's a fool's game. You just got to be the market. That's what we do best. We just join in on the stocks that trade with the market, or trade the market itself like the QQQ, and you'll be on the right side. So now look, there's the Qs doing that thing. There it is. 1, 2, 3, test. Right? So what's the difference? Remember, all of these moves are doing something. They're convincing longs to get out, shorts have to cover. So there it is on a very, very small scale. Not small scale, I didn't mean to say that. Just in a different time zone. I like the ones in the beginning of the day because you're getting in at a better price. But if you get this in the middle of the day, it's just, remember, the market's trying to fake people out, shake them out, and then it breaks out. So if you see it in the middle, or not in the middle of this move, where it tried to faux show, and then it tests from on top, that's a new reason to buy core weave new highs. How you doing? So if you just bought core weave while we've been sitting here, you just paid for a couple of months in my room. Now send us the money, and we'll let you stay. Make sure you join for the year. Like I said, you'll get some perks. And hopefully you guys are long the core weave. And now you understand why this is my favorite stock. Now, let me throw a curveball in there. What if I told you this stock is going to be down 6 points by the end of the day? What? Yeah. What? You know something I do? Don't know? So, Kenny, should I sell it right now? You certainly should. Because you don't know. See what I did there? I don't think it's going to be down 6 points, but why can't it be down 6 points later today? Right. Of course it can. Not with you in it. Right? So that's the kind of thing that I've been trying to exemplify lately, is because we're working on an algorithm, something that can automatically send out the trades that we want to take. Wouldn't that be special? But let's say the algorithm got you into this trade. You just got an email. Oh, Kenny Glick's loving this core weave again. All right. He says to buy it at 71.50 with a 70.50 stops and a 69.85. Okay. And you're in it. Wow, this Glick's picks is something, right? Stock's up 4 points since you got the email. You know you got to do something about it, right? Sell. Like, what if you don't get that second email where it says we just sold some at 73.50? The idea of you buying a stock at 9:45 and owning it till 4 p.m., that's generally not what is going to happen. You're going to have to do something in between, right? So always remember, see the money, take some of the money, raise your stop. And when you're trading VWAP exclusively, those stops are generally the VWAPs. Like over here, you're using the VWAP. Once you pivot it off it, you use it as your out. But now, going back to old school trading, once you break 75, 75 is now your new stop. And the level where you just broke out from, which is 74. So now you're thinking 77.50. Why? Because 75 gets you 77.50. So now you raise your stop to 75 and 74 on what you got left, and you're hoping to go to 77.50. Now sit back and wait. And you're still long the cues because they never go down, right? See how this day's all playing out? Couple of VWAP breaks, a couple of faux show bros. Remember, the market doesn't want to go down. It wants to go up, always. The institutions are trying to convince you to sell so they can take your money and add it to their money. That's what the faux show bros are. So when you faux show and you break VWAP, buy it. But if you faux show and you hold VWAP, that's another indication of there's more buying than selling. And you still want to be in. Who's in the core weave? Guy in the back. I don't know if it's going to 77.50, but you just put your stops on now, and you could use hope and faith right now. What? I know. Yeah, we're going to Vegas. I know. You met hope and faith last time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's how you trade. Nobody knows anything. But what we do know is that we're in this trade at a great price, and we have the luxury to say, hey, let's wait to see if the Qs get to 620, which is where we expected them to see them today. Now you could say, hey, you know what? I'm going to hold on to the rest of this core weave to see if it does go to 75 because I'm in at a good price and I got my stops on. And then you also remind yourself, the market doesn't go down ever. Oh, you thought we were going to go all day without saying that a couple of times? Huh? Get it, Jimmy? You get it now? Oh, I bet you were writing that strongly worded text message, weren't you? Oh, this guy said the market was going to be up on Monday. He got it wrong. Yeah, and by the way, Jimmy, you get trades wrong every once in a while. But look where we are now, Jimmy. We're only $1.30 away from going green. Are you going to retract your angry statement towards me? Even though I've been right about everything for the last 20 years, Jimmy? Oh, in your face again, Jimmy. Oh, yeah, by the way, silver, new highs, Jimmy. Yeah, as you called me a moron for kept on buying it when it broke through 30, right? Remember that comment? I remember that one. You're so hurtful, Jimmy. Jimmy is my hater online. when I say something on one of my videos that doesn't pan out the next day, he thinks that I don't know what I'm talking about. Jimmy, you know that every trader has had some losses. See, Jimmy, if you really want to make fun of me, and I'm giving you the fodder, I'm giving you the ammunition, rub that UVXY trade in my face. That one hurts. Not that words coming out of your mouth hurt me, but you're doing it all wrong. The other day, he's like, oh, this is the same idiot that thought USAR was going to 50. Okay, Jimmy, you know, I got people into this USAR at $11 with a $50 target. It went to 44. It's a pretty damn good trade, Jimmy. I'm sorry it didn't get to 50, but you know what? We were cashing out in the 30s anyway, and then we got short. See, if you were there with us live, Jimmy, it'd be a whole different world for you. But you stay in your demented little psychotic, delusional world. Anyway, sorry I went off on Jimmy there for a second, but as the market's climbing, I know Jimmy was out there going, oh, this asshole thought the market was going to be up today. Yeah. Only $1 away now, Jimmy. And why do I bring Jimmy up? Because Jimmy is everybody. Jimmy was a moron that used to be part of our website, and about a decade ago, he's still holding on to this one trade. By the way, Q's new highs, Jimmy. We're long now. You see, since that one trade back in 2012, we've done some other trades that have worked. If you weren't such a moronic, nudnik, schmuck asshole, sorry, Grandma, we would have. I still want to welcome you back to the website because I've actually done some other winning trades since that one trade. And by the way, it was a winning trade. Let me explain what happened with Jimmy. By the way, if you guys are long the Qs, don't sell any more of it unless they break back under 616.40, because now you got to be thinking green. So raise your stop to that midpoint and let's coast. So why do I tell the Jimmy story so much? Let me tell you. Because Jimmy only heard part of the story. So by default, I recommend stocks. I'm mostly a day trader. I don't give a shit what happens tomorrow. I don't care about any of these stocks, right? I just want to be in it now. I'm in now. I'm controlling this stock, the market right now. I'm in control, right? I'm long the Qs. You can't take them away from me right now. It doesn't matter what happens tomorrow. Get it yet, Jimmy? The mantra of the market never going down. Did it work today? Of course it did. Because the faux show bro proves to you that the market's not going down ever again. Oh, there he goes again saying that. I know, Jimmy. I know. The market might go down tomorrow. Woo! But if you trade with the idea that the market never goes down, you'll understand the faux show bro a lot better, because what's the market doing today? It's making victims of you, the person that actually thinks we can go down. So unless you're delusional, which I know you are, do you see what's happening today, Jimmy? There's you getting short, losing. There's you getting short, losing. There's you probably getting short again, losing. As we're winning, you're losing. So the reason Jimmy's a moron, right, was that Jimmy and I were in a swing trade in Yext. Remember Yext? Yeah. IPO. There's rules to this shit, right? Just like 75 gets you 77.50 or 72.50. So Jimmy and I, right? By the way, this CoreWeave trade would have made up for that Yext already for you, Jimmy. You see, one day I'm already winning. So Jimmy and I were in this IPO, and there was some dog shit IPO. And next thing you know, the IPO broke new highs. I was like, ho, an IPO that's breaking new highs through 15. Jimmy, I said, I'm going to be buying this stock at 15 because it's going to go to 17.50. And Jimmy said, why? I said, because stocks that go from 15 on an IPO break tend to get to 17.50. And then it went to 17.50. Me and Jimmy were best friends. I sold some at 17.50. And even I told Jimmy, I said, listen, I'm selling some here at 17.50, even though I think the stock can break 17.50. And there it went. And then it broke 17.50. And I told Jimmy, IPOs that break 17.50 that are all-time highs tend to go to 20. And there it went to 20. Me and Jimmy, best friends, high-fiving. He's naming his kids after me. Everybody's loving. And I said, Jimmy, this thing breaks 20. It could go to 22.50. And the way it looks, it might be going to 25, maybe even $50. Jimmy heard $50. What? I said, but let's address it when it gets there. Oh, look at it, 22.50. Here we go, Jimmy. 22.50. I'm taking a little profit, and then I get excited. I go out a month late. I go out a month and a half down the road, and I buy some $30 calls because now I'm convinced. 15 got me 17.50, 17.50 got me 20, 20 got me 22.50, stocks breaking 22.50. Next thing you know, we're on our way to 25. Me and Jimmy are high-fiving. We got the $30 calls going out a month and a half at $1.50. They're trading at $2. Woo! Stock hits 27.25. We're ready to blast off. It hits a new high and then comes cratering right back down, breaks the prior candle, rolls over, breaks VWAP, and starts to plummet. And I was like, oh, shit. That ain't good. I better go tell Jimmy. You know what Jimmy says? Jimmy says, but you said the stock's going to 50. I know. That's what I said a couple of days ago, and it was well on its way. But you know what it just did today, Jimmy? That's a blow-off top and an engulfing bearish candle. That's awful. And those $30 calls that we had at $1.50 that we're trading at $2 are at $1 now, Jimmy. What are we going to do about it? And Jimmy said, well, you said the stock's going to 50. I said, I know, Jimmy. I'm the one who told you it was going to go to 50. But now I'm telling you, the stock might go to 0. What? Yes. Yes. Did you ever hear that stocks go up and then they go down sometimes, and then they go down some more, and then they go back up? And Jimmy didn't want to hear it. All Jimmy heard was that the stock was going to go to 50. But the guy that told him to get in at 17.50 to 20 and all that price and all that stuff just fell away. And all that expertise and knowledge that I possessed, Jimmy did not want to hear it anymore. It was fantastic on the way up. It was great. And now I'm telling him the most important part of the story. We got to get out of this thing. Jimmy, it's over. And Jimmy told me to fuck myself. And he said, I'm holding on. You said it's going to 50. And I said, Jimmy, one more time, I am the guy that told you that. I'm also the guy telling you now it's going to 0. Why don't you want to listen to me now? And Jimmy refused to listen, and the stock wound up going all the way to $2. And still to this day, every once in a while, Jimmy shows up to say how much I don't know about the market because of that one trade. So now who's delusional, Jimmy? Who's the crazy person here? You are. You're a demented fucktard. And the reason that the whole idea that you still watch these videos and still can't comment on them after doing not just a few trades. Since 2012, I don't know, I'm going to go say 100,000 trades since that have worked. But if you really want to get under my skin, you really want to make it hurt, talk about the UVXY trade. I blew my whole freaking life up, Jimmy. Doing some dumb shit. I got a trade that works every time. Then I went and did something else and I lost the whole, I can't even tell you. And even if you want to harp on that, Jimmy, oh man, this guy with his UVXY trade. Yeah, this guy with his UVXY trade. And it was now over a year and a half ago. I'm over it. Not over it. But I moved on. Now I trade this wonderful setup that works every freaking time it shows up, and I make money. And I show people how to do this. Why do you got to be grudge? Why do you got to be an angry, delusional fucktard for the rest of your life, Jimmy, where if you just come back to us, I'll introduce you to Solid. I'll introduce you to my crew. We'll welcome you back still after all the negative stuff you said about me. I still will welcome you back, bestow this wisdom upon you, and we will make that Yex money back together. You and me again, Jimmy. Because, Jimmy, let's think. What could have you possibly lost? I remember I think you had 100 options. So let's say you wound up losing 12 grand on the trade. You know, I probably could have made you that 12 grand back over the last decade. I've had some good wins. So the reason I tell the Jimmy story quite often is that don't be Jimmy. Right? If you're in a trade, hey man, I'm loving this VWAP trade. Yeah. Oh man, the fucking thing went to shit by the end of the day and I got crushed. What? That part of the equation shouldn't be part of the equation. If you're in a profitable trade, like if you're along the queues right now, right? You're thinking, hey, we're definitely going green. But you don't lose focus. You put stops on at, well, your one stop right now is the 1643, which is your standard. You know, you're risking less than 2 points. You know, the tighter person would put a stop at that last breakout area. But when you trade the way we do, and I'll say this word, and again, always and never, ever let a profitable trade turn into a loss. Take something off the table, raise your stop. That's it. And if you address every trade the same, which is what you're supposed to do because trading is a monotonous, redundant, algorithmic nature. You just trade, right? You just trade what you see. Trade what you see. And what do we know? What do we know? What do we know? Well, I'll tell you something else that we know is that gap down markets on Mondays tend to get bought. Boof, bang, boof, and bang. UVXY green on a Monday is very dangerous. But wait, UVXY's gone red. Maybe the danger has passed. Why don't you just tell me the name of the movie you like to see? Right. So we live in the moment. See that? Now, if I make a comment about what's going to happen tomorrow, it's irrelevant because it doesn't matter. It's fun to talk about other things. But what we do for a living is algorithmic trading. You have a little tiny inkling of speculation because it's a little bit speculation, but every trade you put on is exactly the same over and over again. And for me, it's the same stock, same trade. Qs, UVXY, CoreWeave, NVTS, Open, and oddly enough, SRAD today is actually a process. I don't even want to say it out loud. But let's go look at Open before I leave. Oh, actually, I got nowhere to be. Aha! Boom! This is how you find trades, right? You just go check. This trade continues to pay us short and long. There hasn't been many days this year where we haven't traded Open long. What do you see there, Jimmy? Look what just happened. Just a whoop, whoop, little faux show right there. Top of the range is right above the VWAP. Something's telling me we might be looking to buy Open soon. So now you stalk it. Usually 619 will get you down to near the 719. But you see how it's just going sideways now under the VWAP? That's your Andy Dufresne pattern. Just going sideways, chopping. Top of that range becomes the VWAP. Not a little bad entry. And again, with the $7 stock, especially this stock, it tends to move in at least, 20, 30 cent increments. You buy at 732 break, stock goes to 755 again. You got yourself 2,000 shares. It's more than most Americans make in their entire day, if not their week. And we're just sitting here waiting to do that as part of, a little addition to the day. Now, again, if you trade a CoreWeave in the Qs right now, that's all we did. That's all I've done. As a matter of fact, I probably should start. Oh, man. I don't know why I didn't sell any. I swear to God, I heard that confirmation earlier. I thought I sold some. Oh, okay. Weird. Life is speculation. You take risks and thrives or don't. Yes. Well, yeah. But this is speculation, confirmation speculation. Did I just invent that phrase? Confirmation speculation, confirmation. Yeah, that's what this is. So the moment of speculation would be right there. But it's really not, you're not really speculating, you're more reactionary. You got the faux show, VWAP break, react. Speculation was me in silver. I've been buying silver for a decade. I've speculated it was going to go to $80 within my lifetime. I guess that would be called speculation. So far, so good. And by the way, I buy silver every week. A little bit here, a little bit there. And Q's new highs. So right now, if you are long the Qs, the speculation was the market never goes down, which is the speculation every day, right? So again, when I say the market never goes down, Jimmy says, "Oh, watch, the market." So now when I say the market never goes down, Jimmy's so ignorant, right, that he'll post something. Yesterday, he said the market would never go down, and now it's down today. Oh, Jimmy. I mean, you hang on every word. You're not a married man, are you? Do you have any kids? Do you have a life other than watching my video and typing stuff in broken English? I don't even know if... Yeah, I know you're trying to be funny with some of those posts, but man, it's just... Jesus, get a life, dude. I know I'm entertaining, but shit. What was I saying now? See, now I lost my train of thought. I don't know what happened. I'm selling the Qs right now. I thought I sold some arrays, so I guess it's a good thing. All right, let me just put my stops in now. All right, actually, I'm not selling. Now, I thought I sold some at 617.50. I didn't even sell. So now my stop is 617.50 and 616.44. I firmly believe we're going to go green. Is it cutting in and out? I'll be right back. Hold on. I'll log in and log out. Hood, as a matter of fact, it's good right this second. Look at that. You got faux show, and then you got back to the original spot. Faux showed right there, broke VWAP, and then came back to test that spot. So if you're long, good. Right this second. If you're long, I'd rather be long than short. That's for sure. Now, more importantly, we have our new player in the room who did this trade but bought the wrong option. So let's talk about that. Hang on. Does it sound better now? You could also watch me on the interweb, as a matter of fact. Did it get better? Hello? Hello? Is anybody out there? Hello? Audio better now? All right. But you see what we just did together there, right? We just analyzed that chart in 2 seconds. That's why I do it live. As soon as I pulled that chart up, what I say, right? Buy it, own it, be in it, right? Q's new highs, by the way. Anybody short UVXY? Sure you are. Actually, the question right now is, if you're not long the Qs and short UVXY, what are you doing? Because those are two of the best trades you'll ever take, especially in a market that, should I qualify it, hardly ever goes down. Does that make you feel better? It hardly ever goes down, right? So the way I look at it, right, is I believe the market's never going down ever again. So those days where we do go down, and again, I was prepared for it to go down Thursday, nailed it, and I was expecting it to crash on Friday. And then it broke VWAP, and I was like, we're never going down. And then I've been in the never go. See, it just took a moment. And if you guys remember the moment, it happened right while we were short, because I thought Thursday sell-off, earnings reversal on NVIDIA, market got slammed. I thought fear would spread, and it didn't, because the market never goes down. See? And it took me till Friday at about 11 o'clock to realize, oh, right, the market never goes down. I wanted it to go down. I was short. And then it pivoted, broke over VWAP. UVXY started to go down. I was like, well, I guess I'm wrong. See that, Jimmy? It's okay to be wrong. You just don't stay wrong. There you go. Look at you learning. Right? It's okay to be wrong. Like anybody who came in this morning. Hi. If you came in this morning and you saw the market gap down, if you thought to yourself, oh my God, this is going to end really, really badly for the bulls. Or did you say, a gap down on Monday? When do I buy? Oh, anytime. Right? Because Monday gap downs are notoriously bought. You know that. So then if you wanted to wait for confirmation, how about a faux show bro in your face? How about a double faux show bro in your face? How about a triple faux show bro in your face? Good luck staying short. You get it? So if you trade with this notion that the market's never going down, you understand it can. We witnessed it and loved it on Thursday. It went down, certainly, and it was fantastic. But when you trade like I trade as a beaten, victimized, moronic, shorter moron, as I'm trying to be nice to myself here, I have to be reminded every day, all right, we never go down. Voila. And that's the whole premise of that whole statement. You guys understand the market can go down, right? But when UVXY goes from being green to red, that's telling you that, well, you might think the market was going down today, but it ain't happening. But now here's the fun part. It's only 12 o'clock. UVXY suddenly breaks back into the green, starts ripping to highs of the day. You better believe the market's going down. And that's why if you trade Qs and UVXY exclusively, you can make a living doing this, especially as a day trader, especially with these weekly wonderful, wunderbar. And where's my new friend? Did you get out of those 17s or 18s? Now you must have been making money. No must have, Mayo. And if you know where that line is, you are a real geek. You must have had a good time. No must have, Mayo. What? That's going way back. That's Marx Brothers shit right there. No must have, Mayo. Anyway, now what do you want to do? Anybody have any more questions? And don't tell me where the market's, ask me where the market's going tomorrow. Who knows? Who cares? Hopefully it's the same day as today. Starts off down, faux show bros, and goes back up like most days. So let's go back to that core weave, right? You guys are still in it, or did you use 75 as your out? Let's say you use 75. Okay, they got you out of some. Your last stop is where it broke out from before, which is 74 and change. So maybe you're hanging in there with it. Or you just said, hey, you know what? That was a pretty good trade. I'm out. And also, I know you're going to get a kick out of this one. If the market goes green today, which it looks like it is, and we close green, or let's just say, let's make it easy. We're above VWAP. We close above VWAP. We don't close near the lows of the day. You know what today is then, right? Today's lows are. You know what today's lows are now, right? Say it. Say it, Jimmy. He loves it when I say this part. New generational lows. That's right. And I mean it. Every time the market pulls back, the shorters are trapped down here, and those become new generational lows, where we might not see them for quite some time until the next market crash or correction. And that's what the market generally does best. It takes money from the impatient and hands it to the patient, takes the money out of the shorter's pocket and puts it back into the long's pocket, because the market never goes down. By the way, next year is going to be a bear market. I'm telling you, only up 12%. The new bear market will be up 12%. We're going to start doing 30%, 40% a year. It's going to be like standard. We're just going to double every year. Dow 100,000, what, 5 years? Maybe, right? You don't think we're going to see Dow 100,000 within 4 years, 4 or 5 years? So, you guys remember when we were starting this whole day and we laughed and it was choppy and it's like, it'll probably resolve itself to the upside. So I guess we could call that speculation. But right now, we didn't need to speculate today. The market told us 4 different times it doesn't want to go down. And it's been a pretty good trade. But seriously, if you're not shorting UVXY as part of your day trading repertoire, you should. Everybody should short UVXY. Try it. And don't trade it over your head. Don't do 3,000 shares if you can't afford it. But if you're shorting 100 shares here, 100 shares there, and it goes against you, never take a loss. Just don't trade it over your head. The only time I took a loss on it was when I had too many of it, too much. And I got a margin call because it was a perfect storm of awfulness. But you trade a couple 100 shares, I don't care if it goes 10 points against you and down $2,000, don't take the loss, just short 200 more. And it goes up another 20 points and you're down $8,000 on it, don't take the loss. It'll revert back down to zero. It always does. That's why if you don't trade over your head with UVXY, I'm telling you, friends, it's guaranteed money. Guaranteed. Just like today. Thank you very much. I don't think there's ever, a generational top. That's never going to happen. There is no top. There's bottoms. Do you think there'll ever be a time where we hit a spot and then never break back over that high? I don't think that's possible. we might get a strange occurrence like not break new all-time highs for a year or two, but there's so many things going into the market now. There's so much more activity. There's so much more money pouring in. It's hard. That's why it doesn't stay down. But I'm just, that Oracle trade has clouded my judgment a little bit. By the way, Oracle's finally stopped going down. The enormity of the blow off top in Oracle I'm still convinced this market's going lower one more time, where we got to get to the point where all the buy on dippers get hammered and the shorters really get convinced they're onto something, and that'll be truly generational lows. Really? I don't know what's going on. Hang on, let me change mics. Fo high. You hear me better now? Hey, Buck, was that you that was texting me in the middle of the day? The other day? Somebody was texting me. I don't even know who I was talking to. Oh, that was you. Okay. Bitty, bitty, bitty. Hey, Buck. So you're part of the main room now. Did you joined again? I think I'm thinking that you are somebody else, but I think I know who you are. Oh, that's cool, man. Welcome back. So you see how, again, today is a kind of a day where very specific, but very, very really specific. I mean, there's not much going on. We just picked our spots, and turns out CoreWeave was nice. That's mostly what this is all about, And going back to somebody was talking about, wait, so where's our friend who put the option trade on? We had a new person putting an option trade on. So the reason I want you to buy at the monies is kind of what you're seeing here. I mean, let's use quotation fingers by saying you got lucky because you bought the 618s. But I really want to see you trading at the money options, because if you have a choppy day and you buy too far out of the money, they're not going to move, even if the market moves. Like the 620s, you might be cooked unless we go green and rip later today. But if you're buying, obviously the 618s, if you bought them at the right spot, but you still had to sell them. But if you're buying too far out of the money, you're going to get a chance to make any money. You follow what I'm saying? Did you get out of those 618s? Listen, Bitcoin's got me a little concerned also. Not that I own a lot of it. And if it crashes to 50,000, I would actually maybe buy a little bit more. But yeah, the Bitcoin safety trade, that's been debunked. Digital gold, completely debunked. It's just a tech stock. That's all it is. And if everybody pulls out simultaneously, it's going to drop another 30 or 40%. What was my point? Oh, my point is it's just a big tech stock now. So that does have me a little concerned, but the Qs have reflected the sell-off already. We got the blow-off top in NVIDIA. We fought back. We tested the Trump tariff lows. And yeah, I mean, that's why I'm usually a bear, but now I am bearish this market, but I live in a market, and that's what's so tough for me. That's why the mantra, it means more to me than just this joke between me and Jimmy or whoever's. It's virtually impossible to stay short. So even though I think this market could go a lot lower, if I'm shorting, I'm getting stopped out and I have to go long as a trader. But I do think there's going to be this. We're going to have some crazy freaking day where it's that we have a 3% down day again. It's going to scare everybody. And if it doesn't hold the recent lows, we'll give way. I still think we'll come back. So again, it's just it'll be a momentary fart in the wind sell-off again. There's the 9-month VWAP. But if you look at the 6-month, right? So this is 6. By the way, if you're just joining us here. So this is why the script is amazing. Look at it. Don't look at me. Look at it. That's your 6-month VWAP. Where did we go? We tested it. That's what I wanted to see. And it held. So now you can't be short. Right? So if that generational low, which is right now, that was the pivot on Friday. And look what we've done since. So if we break under the first we have to break the recent low. If we break that line, there'll be a freaking exodus from the Qs. And it probably gets really freaking nasty. Because these levels right here were the generational lows from the Apple earnings. Sorry, there's the Apple earnings reversal day. And that was a true monstrous triple bottom that began another bull market. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. So here's your 9-month VWAP. Right? Right below where I thought the market was going to get to last week. I thought we were going to give way last week. I still think it's in there. I still think it's programmed. I think we're going to get one more, oh my God, and then bounce off there and never return. But every day I'm reminded to shut up. We're never going down. So that's it. I could have what I think's going to happen, but I only trade what is happening. Because, man, especially as a shorter, there's no way to stay short. But I'll wrap it up. I'm going to go get some breakfast. Here's the best part about today, Jimmy. The core weave money, it's in my account now. Can't take it. So whatever I think is going to happen with core weave, now it doesn't matter. So whatever I say now is irrelevant. Especially this next statement. I think the market's going to go green today. Doesn't matter. Because as soon as it breaks 617.50, I'm selling no matter what, I think. You see that? That's how trading actually works. You could have a thought in your head about what you think is going to happen, but as a good trader, you do what the market is doing. And I own no stocks, Jimmy. Yeah. So if the market crashes tomorrow and I'm wrong about it not going up, then again, even though I am saying I think the market is going to crash, but the market never goes down. So where can you can't even make I'm not even giving you enough ammunition here. I think the market's going to go down, but it's not going to go down because it never does go down. But if it does go down, I'm going to make sure I'm short if that does happen, but it probably won't happen. I just blew your mind. But what I just said is exactly what I'm doing. I think the market's going to go down. I do. But I'm trapped in a market that doesn't go down. So what can I do? Trade what I see. Trade what I see. I like when bias confirmation happens like last Thursday. I thought NVIDIA was ripe for an earnings reversal, and we got it, and we traded it well. And the next day I had to remind myself that the market never goes down. All right? Namaste. And if you need some more namaste in your life, wait, hang on for a second before I go. You can either close your eyes or look at the screen, and something will appear. Breathe in the VWAP. And breathe out the Jimmy. Breathe in the VWAP. And breathe out the Alabama. Breathe in the VWAP. And breathe out the fear. Thanks for hanging out, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back till the day my head spontaneously combusts. And that'll be some good content as well. Have a great rest of the day. Hope you enjoyed Thanksgiving. And we are only 93 cents away from going green in a market that likes to go up.